Coming up next on the CHGO Cubs podcast presented by Toyota. 34 games to go. 4.5 back of the Brewers. The chase is on. We'll break down was the Crosstown a success and the roster crunch on the pitching staff moving towards the playoffs. Plus, the debut of DJ ROJA. CHGO Cubs next. Hey, Chicago, what do you say? Hey, Chicago, what do you say? It's the CHGO Cubs podcast presented by Toyota. Luke Stuckmeyer and Joey Christopoulos with you on an off day for the Cubs as they get ready to take on the Mariners tomorrow in Seattle. So a little break for the Cubs after the Crosstown and the Cardinals. Let's just call it rivalry week is over. Rivalry week is over. We're looking ahead to a lot of different things on this podcast, including the final 34 games of the regular season. Can they catch the Brewers? Who will be pitching for the Cubs if they catch the Brewers? And who will be pitching for the Cubs in the postseason? Because we all think they are headed there. Plus some news from MLB.com giving a little love to the Cubs offense in the last couple of days. And we got I don't know how to describe this. A blossoming star that is exploding onto the scene of the music world. Like, we already have Emmys on the CHGO Cubs podcast, but now we're closing in on the Grammy that Roman has always wanted. Okay? And it's not just Roman. It's somebody called DJ ROJA.
Yeah, we don't know this person's identity.
We don't know DJ ROJA. It's this mysterious person.
Yeah.
But wow. Rhyming like Eminem is all I can say. Rhyming like Eminem. Dropping beats is what they used to say.
The demo tape just somehow ends up in the mailbox, and we're like, what is this thing? I guess we'll give it a whirl. We'll throw it on. And this thing is so hot right now. Is it To Catch a Rising Star? Is it Chicago Idol? Is this the next great? I mean, Post
I have
Malone,
the temperament
Taylor?
of Simon, so that might work. You know, I have the temperament of that guy. This is just brutal. Don't like it.
It's a no for me, dog. It's a no for me, dog.
This show could turn out to be like that cassette that Eddie Vedder sent auditioning to be part of Pearl Jam. This could be that cassette. This could be that big for that person. Shout out to everybody in the live YouTube chat. I see our guy Gary Ross is in there. And don't forget that you will have the Cubs related podcast coming out tomorrow morning to get you ready for the Mariners and the Cubs. But we want to first start, again, DJ ROJA's coming up, but we want to start with what happened between the Cubs and the Sox. I would describe this 3-game set as full of excitement. The ending was anticlimactic, but Joey, would you describe what happened winning 2 out of 3 against the White Sox as a success for the Cubs?
For the Cubs, barely. I think just barely. Because I know we want to focus on the walk-offs and Pete's heroics and pizza and Dr. Pepper. And it's all fun. But at the same time, those walk-offs can also maybe be masking some, I wouldn't say larger issues, but the question of, had the Cubs really played their best baseball the last 5 or 6 days? I don't know if I would go there. And look, I want to give the White Sox credit, and I do believe truly that there's just something different in the water, if you will, when it comes to the Cubs playing the White Sox, where just different things happen, different heroes rise up, and then the stars become the stars, like Mune hitting a 440-foot bomb, Pete being awesome, and all that stuff. But bottom line is, White Sox record against teams over 500 this season is 19-29. And that's not to take anything away from what they've done this season, but it is also here to illustrate that this is still a very much a young team going up against a Cubs team that is loaded with veterans, that is ready to win now. So I'm glad that they got 2 out of 3, because maybe that's the veteran edge that ended up like leading the day. But I don't know if I would say that the Cubs played their best baseball, and going 3-3 in total in the Crosstown clash leaves me a little bit unsatisfied, right? And maybe that had to do a little bit with some of the drama. How do you feel about it, Luke?
Well, I feel like getting to 3-3 wasn't very easy.
No, not at all.
When you're facing a team that lost over 300 games easily over the last 3 years combined, obviously the White Sox are better this year. They're sitting in first place, but their record is not as good as the Cubs. I would like to at least be 4-2. So while the excitement and drama department certainly delivered, if you want to call that a success, from a broadcasting standpoint, yeah, you hit it, right? Like from a fan experience standpoint, yes, you hit it. No pun intended with the stuff that went on in the bleachers. That was another part that I would say, maybe not our finest moment. But the part that leaves me unsatisfied is the general homestand. Yes, you won 2 out of 3 against the White Sox, which is satisfying, but you lost 2 out of 3 to the Cardinals. And I want to be 4-2 in that homestand, not 3-3, because you're not playing great teams. And if you're going to catch the Brewers, we've talked about, you got to have some sweeps. And if you're not going to have some sweeps, you better take 2 out of 3 from both teams. So, the Crosstown, entertainment-wise, was more than a success. It's a Crosstown that we will remember because of back-to-back walk-offs. It's a Crosstown that we'll remember for PCA leading off 2 of the 3 games with home runs and ending one of them with a home run. So was it exciting? Yes. From a win-loss standpoint, was it enough? No, and the homestand wasn't enough. So now you got to go on the road, and you really better make some things happen if you want to catch the Brewers. And hopefully the Mariners can help you out before you face them one more time when they face the Brewers tonight.
Yeah, and I think we're at the point now when we can recognize when this Cubs offense is at its best. And we can also recognize when maybe it's going through just a bit of a stretch where it might be a small little lull for just a few moments, if you will. And whether you like it or not, the Cubs have been shut out twice now in the last week. They were shut out last Thursday with Cade Cavalli playing the Washington Nationals, and then they got shut out yesterday. And then this weekend, I don't think any Cubs fan is going to sit there and say that their offense looked amazing against the Arizona Cardinals. I understand that they were, the pitching staff got beat up pretty good, but at the same time, you got to ask yourself the question, like, are the Cubs exactly peaking right now offensively? No. Are they playing their best offensively right now? No, they are not. But the important thing is now that they go on the road a little bit against Seattle, who can pitch a little bit, Arizona can pitch a little bit, you got to ask yourself the question, can they put together a better 6-game road swing now on the West Coast than the 3-3 homestand that they just put up? So are the Cubs playing their best baseball right now? No, but a 3-3 homestand is still pretty good if you're not exactly playing your best offensively right now.
Yeah, totally agree. How would you look at, I think if you want to rank the 5 moments from the Crosstown, there are 5 super obvious, for Cubs fans, there are 5 super obvious highlights, if you will, or heroes, if you will, or great moments from the Crosstown that are pretty easy to identify, right? Like you have PCA's 2 leadoff homers, 2 of the 5. You have PCA's obvious walk-off homer in the top 5. And then I think you have Bregman's 2 big hits. You have Bregman tying the game in game 2, and you have Bregman winning the game in game 2. Would we agree that those are the 5 moments that were the highlights of 3 games against the White Sox?
Yeah, I definitely have some honorable mentions, right?
I
So
was going
maybe
to
if
say, what are
people,
the underrated 5? If those 5
yeah,
are so obvious,
if people in the
what are
chat
the
want to,
underrated 5?
yeah, if people want to hop in the chat with some that we've forgotten, I'll throw some out there. I think what Javier Assad did was incredibly memorable, and not just because of the 3 shutout innings, but when he left the mound with the emotions charged of Cubs Sox, like Cubs fans let him know how much they appreciated that effort in this series, and specifically in that game, to keep them in it and give them an opportunity to win. I think your top 5 is really good. Small shout out maybe to Seiya on the back-to-back in the first game. I think that's a great one. I think Nico Horner made a couple pretty incredible plays up the middle at shortstop throughout the course of this series. I mean, Alex Bregman had a compilation reel that I think would definitely go in there, but not one specific defensive play. And then I'm going to say it again, Luke. I just absolutely loved when Pete hits that double in the gap and Sam Antonacci sells out and dives, thinking that, man, if this thing gets past me, Pete could run forever. And also knowing that if I dive and I miss this, Pete could run forever. And he dives like a shortstop in the hole, knocks it down, thinking, oh, I got him only to a single. And Pete still has that speed to get that double anyways. Yeah. That's just cool baseball stuff from 2 really young players with a ton of passion in this town that I think Chicagoans would embrace. Like the South Side's embraced Antonacci. Obviously, the Chicago Cubs fans are in love with Pete Armstrong. It didn't result in a run or anything, but I think that was very emblematic of the emotions that were going in that series. That was one of my favorite plays.
Gary likes my hat, and I appreciate that. Obby shirts. Yeah, this is our guy, Joe Johnson, came up with the electric blues. Thanks, Gary. He also mentions Drew Peterson, who I hadn't thought about Peterson.
That's a good one.
And
Jacob
the
Webb.
one I did was
Jacob Webb.
Jacob Webb. I don't even know if it's underrated because it's funny, you look at what Webb is doing, and I saw my guy Dan Plesac say he might be the most underappreciated reliever in the National League right now. That's pretty fair. Like, without him, where would the Cubs bullpen be? When you have Palencia only with 16 appearances and 3 saves and just hardly even playing this year because of injury, where would you be without Jacob Webb? And so what he did again against the White Sox was spectacular. Assad was great. Actually, the bullpen was great. Like, underappreciated, Thielbar did his job. 2 games, Thielbar did his job too. And so I think underappreciated in general would be the bullpen for the Cubs in that Crosstown series.
Yeah, and you know what? When we start listing them, there's a lot to pick from. And I understand that. Just having said that, I am being somewhat critical of just what I feel like that I've seen from the Cubs offense as a whole over the last 6 or 7 days. And when I mentioned those 2 shutouts in a week, that's just still isn't very good. But at the same time, I think like the 2 guys that we're mentioning, we threw out Seiya's name in there, Bregman's name in there, PCA's name in there. So if the offense isn't exactly going to hum, and if they're not going to be the offense that gets those 4, 5, 6 walks a game, which has been a huge theme of this season, at least the big dogs, Luke, are making it happen offensively, right? And if you're going to go through a bit of a lull, why not have your best players at least try and lead the way to some wins? So I can certainly live with that, even though I would like to see, a little bit more of an improvement heading into the weekend.
We're going to talk more about it. We're also going to have the debut of DJ ROJA and his electric tune. I don't know what else to call it. Dope rhyme. I'm not the guy to describe what it is, but I'm just going to tell you it's phenomenal.
A track. It's a track.
It's a
banger.
Thank you.
I
don't know because like stuff, the names for stuff, it changes over the years. But this is something, and we're going to put on a little ditty colored, huh?
A little ditty.
This little ditty is really going to rock your socks. Casey Kasem.
There we go.
Coming up next. But this is the CHGO Cubs podcast presented by Toyota. When we come back, we're going to put on our rose-colored glasses. We're going to hear from DJ ROJA. And no, is the roster coming to a crunch today? No, but the pitching staff's going to have some very interesting choices moving forward. We're going to start that conversation next on the CHGO Cubs podcast. Dear Friday, Toyota says, let's put the good times in gear. They've got the Tundra, the Tacoma, and the 4Runner. What a classic that is. And you want some cool available features, Joey. Who doesn't with their truck? Everybody does. Well, Toyota's got power tailgates to power your game days this fall for all the big football games, maybe on the way or before a high school football game or a college football game or a Bears game or, dare I say, Cubs playoff game. They've also got the backup trailer guide, beep, 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 for those fall walleye fishing trips. You got to be ready at the ramp. Heck, it's so good, we might even cancel Mondays. Toyota trucks, Toyota, let's go places. And you know what I say. Bah, bah, bah. I am the Titan of Toyotas because the Stuckmeyers only drive Toyota cars and Toyota trucks with a capital T.
Well, I'll tell you something right now, Luke. This is kind of a nice day. This is a nice off day for the Chicago Cubs, right? Because I just need to chill out a little bit. And how do I like to chill out? I like to chill out with my Sunnyside dispensary because it elevates my baseball summer. Sunnyside is the home for judgment-free shopping. Right now, crazy selection, over 100 different strains to choose from with easy online ordering and in-store pickup. Because wherever you are in Illinois, Sunnyside has got your back. Spots as far south as Champaign, as far north as South Beloit. So stop into the store nearest you for that expert guidance. You want to get on the course before hits, they got the good news, Tea Time Vapes. It's a lemonade flavor that should go well with Arnold Palmer on the golf course all summer long. And they got a stash pass that's also good through Labor Day where you can earn rewards. So what are you waiting for? It's the best only under the sun. Use code HICHGO. You can get 50% off your first 3 online purchases. HICHGO. It is Sunnyside Dispensary, only the best under the sun for 21 plus or Illinois medical card holders.
Back on the CHGO Cubs podcast presented by our friends at Toyota. Luke Stuckmeyer and Joey Christopoulos on an off day for the Cubs after taking 2 out of 3 against the Sox. They now head to Seattle. We have a Toyota Super Chat, $10 from our guy, Josh Dodson. Let me throw on my readers for this so I get it right, Josh. A lot of crap. I got a lot of crap for pointing out the flaws in the Cubs roster on Cubs fan groups. Crazy to think that there are some fans out there that just want the most optimal Cubs players out there to win ball games. All right.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Josh. Appreciate it.
I'd be curious. I guess I'd be curious what those flaws are. I think we can all maybe agree that every single Major League Baseball team has flaws. I think we can all agree that every single Cubs fan wants optimal performance from every single Cub player in every inning of every game. I hate to break it to you, but that's not what's going to happen. And I think the beauty of baseball is working through triumphs and tribulations and trying to work through those and trying to, if in theory, if not keep the faith, but at least, Luke, try and find a way to, if a player is struggling, and look, there's been some players that have struggled this year. Yeah. Try and find a way of what is it going to take to get them out of the slump? Instead of, so on this show, we don't DFA people. We just try and figure out how do we get Dansby Swanson from hitting 175 back up to the 219 area, right? And we talk about it and try and figure out whether it's sitting him down, whether it's something mechanical, or maybe it's even just the advent of time where eventually he does come around. So, yeah, enjoy your Facebook groups, man. But yeah, this team has flaws like everyone, and they're not always going to hit their peak performance.
Yeah, the Dodgers have flaws on and off the field. Dodgers have flaws. They got some big flaws Gary wants to talk about, but that might be another podcast. They got some serious issues behind the scenes. I still don't want to forget DJ Roja, but let's tell everybody about the golf outing coming up because that is getting close, all right? August 28th, the CHGO Kickoff Classic, 9 a.m. start at Cog Hill. We are running out of tickets for this one. Course number 2. I am signing up with my best friend from high school. Who's going to golf with us? Who's going to fill out our foursome? That's what I want to know, okay? We're going to grip it and rip it for the 4th annual CHGO Kickoff Classic. The deal includes some free giveaways. It includes a day of fun out at Cog Hill and lunch afterwards. And I tell you, they put together a pretty good spread at Cog Hill. It's delicious. It's my favorite part of the day because I'm bad at golf. So if you sign up to play with me, just know that I'm not good at golf. Joey experienced it at spring training when we did our little ALLCITY event out there. I can't say I wasn't
good either. Yeah, I wasn't good either.
But the vibes will be at an all-time high.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to go for. All right, so let's put on our rose-colored glasses presented by our friends at Shady Rays and tell everybody why the future is bright for the Cubs. Go to shadyrays.com, use code CHGO at checkout for 50% off 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses. And let me tell you, that was also part of spring training. I got my Shady Rays readers, sunglasses readers. And if you don't have those and you're old, let me tell you, they are a game changer. You can look down at the phone, you can look up. You look down at the phone, you can look up.
Look cool doing
especially
it
for
too.
Golfing. Spectacular. So Gary says he has no idea how to golf. Well, that's perfect. You'd be a perfect person to golf with then, Gary. So here's why something positive. We saw MLB.com put out this list of power hitters, or the power rankings for hitters, right? And who's on the list, Joey? First of all, I was surprised that Yordan Alvarez was at the top of the list, but okay. Number one. Number 2, Pete Crow Armstrong. Number 3, Ohtani. Love the list. Don't know why PCA is not number 1, but he's not number 1. I believe Pete Alonso was number 4. And the crazy part is the amount of Cubs in the top 10 or near the top 10, right?
I mean, we had to bring it up on the show just because I looked at the list and frankly,
pretty good.
We watch every game and I was a little shocked. I had to sit down for a second. I had to catch my breath because at number 9 right now on MLB's power hitter power rankings, number 9, Alex Bregman. I will say that again. Alex Bregman in an MLB.com power hitter power ranking poll is considered the 9th best power hitter in Major League Baseball. And it's just a testament to how far we've come, Luke. Really, like, I go all the way back to, honestly, sitting here in Studio West with you, and we were doing shows and we were looking at Zips and we were looking at Fangraphs, and Alex Bregman's Fangraphs specifically scared the crap out of me because I think they had him somewhere in the 245, 250-ish range, which is about where he is right now. But they only had him at 14 home runs and low 70 in RBIs. And we both sat there and we were like, wow, for $175 million, like, what are the Cubs getting? And is Fangraphs already predicting a downturn for a 32-year-old hitter? And if you look at it, it was pretty on par for a while, right? In April, slugging percentage 350, May 357, in June, a slugging percentage of 300. Now, not to be derogatory towards one of my favorite players, Nico Horner, but those are Nico Horner numbers. And we did a lot of segments on the show of, man, where is the power, the pop-up rate, the ground ball pull rate is so high right now. Both of them career highs for Alex Bregman in the first half. But lo and behold, in the month of July, 495 slugging. In the month of August, 545. And Luke, like, I didn't canvass the rest of Major League Baseball to see whether Alex Bregman should be on the list, but in terms of power hitters right now, Alex Bregman does deserve to be on a version of that list because he has completely turned his season around. He's got more than 14 home runs now. He's got a great shot at 20. I think he's got a really good shot at probably 80-ish RBIs. And it's not just the home runs. It's kind of when the home runs are happening. It was just a really refreshing, cool thing to see Alex Bregman land on an offensive top 10 list, let alone a power hitting top 10 list.
Yeah, I don't care if he's on a list, right? Like, the list part of it doesn't make me get excited. What makes me excited is that he's been one of the best hitters in baseball since like July 1st. And the Cubs are, 26-15 or something since that stretch. So what makes me excited is that you're starting to get the guy that you paid big money to in the offseason, a guy that we said would replace first half Kyle Tucker last year in this lineup and make the Cubs one of the elite teams. That's what he's starting to do. He didn't do it. He was slow to the party, just like Pete Alonso was slow to the party on his team. But here we are, and Bregman is starting to emerge. We looked at the All-Star break and we said, all right, Bush has underperformed. Bregman has underperformed. And you start going down the list of guys. Seiya has kind of underperformed. How are we going to get to this part where the offense is going to carry this banged up pitching staff? And how can the Cubs offense be elite like they were at the beginning of 2025 when Pete was great? Okay, well, Pete has been that and more. But you still need other guys in the lineup. And I don't know if there's anybody more important than Bregman, maybe Seiya, but Bregman's pretty high on the list. That's why you went out and signed him. It wasn't just to play great third base. That's part of it, but we were left talking about the leadership part for the whole first half of the season. So this is good news that even the national people are looking at and saying, Bregman's playing better baseball. Have you noticed what Bregman's doing on the north side of Chicago? And that's why the Cubs are closing in on the Brewers. I don't know if they're going to catch them. I don't know if it's the end of the world if they don't. But heading to the postseason, you're going to want Bregman to be this Bregman. And so far, it's a huge turnaround for him on his season.
Yeah, I think all I asked for when the season started wasn't necessarily some sort of stat line. And I agree with you. Yeah, I mean, I don't need to see him on a list. I just found it. I was surprised. I was just frankly taking it back. I care a little bit less about the back of the baseball card. All I asked from Alex Bregman all season long was to be impactful. And I think that's what I meant when replacing Kyle Tucker's production. I didn't expect him to have the same slugging percentage. I didn't expect him to have an OPS over 900, which frankly Kyle Tucker had for the majority of last season. I just wanted him to be impactful. And what I mean by that is come up with some big RBIs, man. When there's 2 outs and runner on second base, drive that runner in. When you have an opportunity to walk off the White Sox after a 1-hour rain delay, hit a liner right back up the middle to center field and drive that run in. Alex Bregman has been doing that. He's got the average with runners in scoring position now close to 260. And it's so funny, Luke, that I deeply appreciate Baseball Savant. I love the analytics and I love the people that really drive into it. But it is really, really funny, Luke, that one of the oldest cliches in baseball is something that Alex Bregman has done, and it has opened up a new area for him to be offensively impactful, and he's hitting the ball the other way. You know what I mean? Not everything is a pop-up to shortstop. Not everything is him trying to cheat and beat on inside fastball, and he's grounding it to third base or shortstop. He's begun to kind of work the outer half a little bit more, open up the rest of the plate, and he's poking balls the other way. He's gotten a couple doubles that way. He's had some singles like that. He's even kind of peppered down the first base line with a couple of hits, and it is really funny. That is one of the oldest cliches of when you see a hitter start going the other way, eventually good things happen. That's happened with Alex Bregman, and he isn't as important as Seiya Suzuki, but the fact that he's doing important things and the fact that he's becoming impactful, I think that's what the Cubs signed up for, and that's what the Cubs are getting. And it's coming at a really good time because September, this division chase, locking down a playoff spot, and then eventually the playoffs, it's right around the corner.
Yeah, I mean, rose-colored glasses, you said you want him to be impactful, right? 16 homers right now, you look at it and say it's not unlikely that he finishes with 20. Okay, that was better than the projections going into the season. This isn't the way you wanted him to get there, but it's better than the alternative with a great start and a terrible finish.
Right.
And with 34 games to go, you know what I want? I want to see him be what he was in this series against the White Sox. He had 2 of the 5 biggest moments in that series against the White Sox. And more importantly, when he came up, I don't want to have a pit in my stomach. I want the other team to have a pit in their stomach because they are like, this is one of the last guys I want to see come up right now with the game on the line. And for the first half of the season almost, he was exactly who the other team wanted to have come up at the plate, frankly. But now he has turned it around, and if you're a fan of the opposing team, he's not a guy you want to see come up to the plate. And so that's what I want to see continue for 34 games and beyond. All right, we got to take another quick break here on the CHGO Cubs podcast presented by Toyota. When we come back, DJ Roja, and a little game of playoff rotation and roster construction with the pitching staff, okay? But more importantly, DJ Roja. Next on the CHGO Cubs podcast. Joey, what if I told you could have reliable and intelligent Wi-Fi? And what if I told you, believe it or not, you could have it at the same price, guaranteed, for not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, 5 straight years. That is the Xfinity. Wow. 5-year price guarantee. Imagine Wi-Fi that makes everything in your home work together. It finds and fixes problems before you even know you have them. That's how good it is. And it lets you stream the game while everybody else is online doing something else. No problemo. And here's the best part. Xfinity's best equipment is included in the deal for 5 straight years. Take it from me, a lot could change in 5 years, you know? Lock in your price. Don't let it happen with your Wi-Fi. Lock in the price right now. Unlock the possibilities of Xfinity. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Xfinity, imagine that. Select plans only. Restrictions apply.
Cubs fans, you expect nothing but the best and nothing but the truth around here. And the truth is, I did not win the Powerball. Luke Stuckmeyer did not win the Powerball, but that's not going to stop us from chasing our dream of winning that huge prize one day. And when we do, or even before that, you got to have your finances in order, and that's where Old National Bank comes into play, because whether it's on the field or in your financial life, it's the best teams that win by delivering excellence at every level, and that is Old National Bank to a T. Every single play matters at Old National Bank, from everyday checking to long-term planning and commercial banking. Their team is there to build momentum to help you move that ball forward. And it all starts with a plan tailored to you by professionals that you trust. It's simple tasks to financial moments. You can count on them to coordinate your needs with steady, knowledgeable guidance that brings clarity and confidence to every step. And it's a partnership that's designed to help you feel supported, not just today, but into the future. So whether you're celebrating that win or whether you're getting ready to win the Powerball, it's Old National Bank. They're going to be in your corner from the first step forward. Old National Bank, member FDIC, where relationships and results matter. Coming back on the CHGO Cubs podcast right now, Joey Christopoulos in Studio West, Luke Stuckmeyer kicking it at home right now, and Sarah on the 1s and 2s. Luke, are we doing it? Are you? I want you to tee this up.
I don't know how to set this up other than we did 3 straight days of live watch-alongs for Cubs Sox. We had like an hour and 20-minute, hour 30, whatever it was, rain delay. So we're talking like almost 9 hours of watch-alongs plus hour-long post-game shows. And in that time, what we learned is that there is a new rhyme, a new track out there that is taking over the sports world in Chicago, the music world in Chicago. And we know those are 2 things we are proud of. It hasn't taken over the food scene yet, but it might do that too. Without further ado, here is the new hot track, Stuck with CHGO, from DJ Roja.
I thought I'd let you know I'm a bit. I thought I'd let you know. I thought I'd let you know I'm up in Chicago, aka the second city. When we in the club, Chi-Town's finest are with me. The Sox at the south side, but the Cubs got Wrigley. Take a cruise down Lake Shore, let the pedal hit the floor. Stuff yourself with Giordano's till your belly gets sore. Cock your head back and find the Sears Tower. Grab a cab, crosstown and battle traffic for an hour. We all know why it's so windy. If you're from Green Bay, you might offend me. Navigation leads me through the loop. If we attend a taste? Give me 2 scoops, it might come to your surprise that when the summer heat rise, people gonna pack the beaches. Hop off the train when it screeches, and in the winter they gonna see how high the snow reaches. Cause we in Chi-Town, the city that won't back down from nothing. I'm telling you, Cook County people, the world's loving. But if you come at them with that attitude, they'll start shoving. So I thought I'd let you know I'm up in Chicago, aka the second city, simply the nation's best. Like a heart in the chest, the crown jewel that shines the world, straight from the Midwest.
That was the second city, ladies and gentlemen, by DJ ROJA.
Wow. Was that electric, huh?
Who is DJ ROJA?
We had no idea that was coming. Who is DJ ROJA?
Who is he?
It might be Jake Flanagan, our boss. Like 15 years ago. And then it was, I was told this is what happened. Roman gave it a glow up. I don't know what that means, but Roman gave it a glow up with, and that's not Jake rapping anymore. He's just the lyricist for it.
You're really deconstructing.
Okay.
No, that's.
I don't know what any of that means, but it was put together by Jake, and then Roman gave it a little shine to it.
I think it's a banger, and I support the arts. If you listen to a different genre of music, good for you. But at least reserve back up and enjoy people trying to express themselves.
Cubs playoff games, couldn't that be a theme song that the players, play in the clubhouse after a W? Shouldn't that be the thing they walk into?
Bootzilla with a Toyota Super Chat. Is he related to Mel Rojas? No.
I don't know about that. Not Mel Rojas. Anyways, DJ ROJA, outstanding stuff, and you'll hear more from him coming up throughout the rest of the 34 games. So everybody's confused about this roster crunch. We're not talking about Matt Shaw coming back potentially, or we're not talking about Palencia coming back on Friday. What we're talking about is playoffs. We're just doing a power ranking of the Cubs pitching staff and how that pitching staff will look, how it looks now. How would it look for you in the perfect world heading into a playoff series? And we started talking about it yesterday. And I said, listen, if guys get healthy, Jed has acknowledged that he may have a plethora of pitchers. He may have so many pitchers that he's going to have to make difficult decisions come playoff time. The Cubs are going to the playoffs, folks. And they built this knowing that they're going to have almost every time 13 pitchers on a playoff roster. Okay. Are they going to be a different 13 for different series if they're able to get multiple series? Yeah, probably adjust a little bit by one guy sometimes. But where do we put the power rankings? So I like to say, give me 4 starters. Just let's take the 4 starters that I see as your 4 best starters and put them at the top of that power rankings. We're working our way down to 13. And then after 13, you're going to see how many names they're going to have to play with.
Yeah.
You're probably not carrying more than 13 pitchers for a playoff series. So where are all those other names, especially if and when some of these guys get healthy? Okay. So Joey, do we have the same 4 guys in your mind that would be the 4 starting pitchers for you right now?
Yeah, let's start there. And again, to reiterate, all right, this is called a sports exercise. All right, think about this
fluid.
It's fluid as a pitching staff 1.0. There can be 2.0. There can be 3.0. Yep.
There will be.
And maybe for those in the chat, for those in the chat, they're saying there is no roster crunch. Guess what? This is the exact type of stuff that the Chicago Cubs are doing right now.
Yes.
And we want to have the conversation. So, and these are also things that if you think someone's in right now, they have to continue to perform to stay in that mix to make that final 13. So my top 4 right now, I believe is pretty obvious, right? I think Kevin Gausman's my number 1. Matthew Boyd's my number 2. This is not better, whatever. They're just in the list.
These are 2 guys that you think are definitely starting playoff games.
Right. Shota Imanaga. And as of right now, per yesterday's start, I think Clay Holmes right now is maybe that 4th starter in this moment on Thursday in our 1.0 pitching, in our pitching power rankings. That's my 4. Do you agree?
Yes, I agree. It's not necessarily in any order. I think Boyd might be my game 1 starter still, but Boyd, Gausman, Holmes, and Shota. I think that's totally fair. Could other guys impact that list? Yes, but this is our playoff pitching roster mock draft 1.0. Okay, if that's what you want to call it, mock draft, fine. Yeah. So now we have to go from 4 to 13. We got 4 starters. Now that doesn't mean we can't have a starter here from 5 down to 13. I think you're going to see several starters there, because one thing the Cubs have shown us, and the Dodgers and other teams, is it's a new way of attacking the postseason. Starters doing short outings, becoming relievers. Who's comfortable doing it? Who can do it? Heck, this goes all the way back to the Marlins in 2003. It's how they won the World Series. Cycling guys through, back, a starter cycling back on what might just be a side day, and having them go out there and do that side day for an inning, or a lot of piggyback stuff. Guys don't go 8 innings. I don't think the Cubs have anybody that's throwing 7, 8 innings in a playoff game anymore. You don't want to see a lineup more than 2 times mostly. Mm-hmm. So instead of having just a generic bullpen like you have now, where you're piecing it together, which is great for the regular season, who are the guys you need to have? I want not just my best pitchers. I want guys I can count on. And so, yes, some of those guys are the pitchers that we've seen in the bullpen this year, and some are not. So who would be part of that list? For me, it starts with number 5 has to be Webb. Webb is on there, right? So now we've got 5 names. Once he's healthy, pitches Friday, I would assume Palencia is part of that, right?
That's 6. Absolutely.
5, 6, that's Palencia. Ben Brown seems to be going the right direction. I think 5, 6, 7. Now you got Ben Brown, right?
In the 1.0
part of that list?
Yeah, in this 1.0 power rankings, when you hear good news about Ben Brown, you would like to think Ben Brown will be a part of this 13-man pitching staff in October. Yeah. I have him at 7.
And this isn't necessarily saying he's the 7th best guy in the list. It's just saying we're trying to go from 4 starters and then start filter down and get 13 names. Webb, Palencia, and Brown would certainly be part of that. Peterson's part of that for me. Peterson is also a starter, but he's part of it. They've already tried it once, coming in relief. We just saw it in the White Sox series. So for me, Peterson is part of that list. This is where it starts to get tricky. Now, do you trust enough that Cabrera is going to come back? And can he actually perform in a relief type role? Because that's what we're looking at. It's got to be shorter roles, they think, if it's going to hold up on this blister situation.
So here's where it stands right now. Now, with this list, I had 20 possibles as guys that can maybe factor into the playoff roster.
Okay.
And whether you want to believe in all these guys, it's up to you. But these guys have either pitched for the team, or you hear things about could they maybe help them in September. I will say, though, before we even have the Edward Cabrera conversation, Colin Ray is 9. Colin Ray is ahead of Edward Cabrera.
And right? Assad, too?
And if you want to say the Assad game, maybe you can. But now, here's the thing about that, right? Now you're saying Peterson, Ray, Assad. Those are 3 guys that can give you multiple innings, which is great. I would also probably say those are 3 guys that probably can't go back-to-back days. So you are kind of aligning them a little bit to different game situation, but asking them to pitch on back-to-back days would be something at the very least we could say would be abnormal for them. So it turns into the question of how many multi-inning guys do you – I know you want a lot of them, but you only have 13 spots, right? So let's say we're at 9 right now. If Assad is number 10, I don't know. I think that's where, the roster crunch comes into play, because I got a new nickname for my guy, Edward Cabrera. I'm calling him Eddie If. Eddie If. If Eddie If is healthy, Eddie If he's good, Eddie If he can come out of the bullpen, if Eddie If does what he needs to do, he can leapfrog maybe Javier Assad. But if you're saying to yourself, now you've got Palencia and Webb, and the rest of those guys get you to 10, and all those guys are multi-inning guys, they might not be able to go back to back. Are you saying Edward Cabrera then is your 11th? Zephyr Jean is your 12th? And oh, that's right, we don't have a single lefty out of the pen in this situation. Right. So that's where I start to say to myself, someone's probably going to get squeezed, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's fair to say that Assad, Ray, Peterson, are you looking at those three guys and saying all three are going to be on the playoff roster because of what you said? Could they go back to back? Well, they've been starters. I think at least two of the three are, but that's where the crunch starts to come in. Is it Rolison and Thielbar right now on your playoff roster?
So real quick, the thing with Rolison, and I'm really curious and fascinated to see what they do with him, is, since the All-Star break, he frankly hasn't been that great. Like in August, his ERA is about 4.5, and he was fantastic at about 2.5 the ERA in the first half of the year, and he's come back to earth a little bit. I do really trust Ryan Rolison in situations where you bring him into a dirty inning and you need a ground ball. I like that a lot, but per Tony Andracki, if he has options available, I'm also wondering, could he be a candidate to maybe go down to AAA and try and iron some stuff out while you still have Thielbar and then bring back Hobie Milner? We haven't even brought a Hobie Milner into the mix. And I see Gary Ross saying that Peterson is a lefty. Thank you for pointing that out. But as I already said, Peterson probably won't pitch 2 days in a row. So he can't be the only lefty coming out of the bullpen. So
but Peterson and Thielbar, or Peterson and Rolison? I think those two are determined. I don't think it's both. I really don't. I don't think it's going to be both.
I don't think you can.
I don't. Cabrera thing, what do you trust more, Joey? Do you trust Cabrera more to be on this list of 13, or do you trust Ben Brown to come back and be part of this 13?
On this list right now, 1.0, I have more faith, because what we're asking for right now out of this situation is anywhere between 20 to 30 pitches, which is probably maybe an average of 2 innings and maybe in the 12 to 15 area for 1 inning. I trust Ben Brown on those 12 to 15 pitches more than I trust old Eddie If Cabrera right now. And that's where this is in the 1.0 power ranking. Can it change? Yeah, because that's what this is all about. We're going to have these conversations and things are going to come in and out. But as it stands right now, I just feel like Edward Cabrera has a hill to climb in terms of showing them that he can be trusted, that he can produce, and sort of leapfrog some guys that have earned a lot more trust in that locker room than he has this year. And that's just the truth.
Yeah, and I mean, there's so many names after that we just don't know. I agree. Ben Brown is part of my 13. And I'm saying that about a guy that has a stress reaction in his neck for the second straight year. Yeah. So it's still a huge question mark. Milner is on the playoff roster as a pitcher because he's so different than the rest. If he comes back healthy, we think he's coming back. But we already know that Palencia's an if. We already know that Milner's an if. We know Ben Brown is an if. We know that Cabrera is an if. So that's why we're saying right now, is this fluid? Yes. Is it too early to have the conversation? No, because the Cubs are doing this behind the scenes. That's why they pitched Peterson in relief. They want to see if they can do that with these guys. Yep. They're going to have to use them as starters as long as they can so they don't wear out their true starters for the postseason. But they've got to see who can do it. Do they know that Assad could come in and give you 3-4 innings in relief? Yes. Do they know that Peterson could come in and do it? Yes. Do they know Cabrera could come in and do it? Not yet. Not
Yes.
yet, they don't,
They
but I
could.
think
Yeah,
they're going
they
to,
could.
assuming he comes back from the blister, he's going to give that opportunity. Is his stuff better than a lot of the guys you're considering from 14 to 20?
Yes.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
He might have top 2 on the team in stuff, but he's never harnessed it, and he's never shown you can do it in relief. He's thrown in relief like twice in his career in 2023. He's been a starter, so you got to find out, A, can he come back from the blister? B, can he come back and be somebody you really, really count on? Right now, I count on Assad, Peterson, and Ray more than I count on Cabrera to do that.
So
is that crazy?
No, it's not crazy at all. It's not crazy at all. I mean, this is like put up, shut up, it's go time, whatever phrase you want to put in there. And honestly, I find it refreshing that Craig Counsell's been pretty cold-blooded about some of this stuff of, Edward Cabrera. They could have maybe tried to put some glue on it and just, hey, let's make his next start. No, man, you know what? You're going to the injury list. Figure it out. We're going to take your time here. We're going to try and get you right. And then, oh yeah, by the way, when you come back, you're not starting anymore. You know what I mean? You got to earn that thing back, because there's been too many players that have worked too damn hard to start going out there and be like, oh, well, he's got talent. He's earned the right to get another start. I don't think Craig is playing that game. Luke, I'm going to throw out the rest of the names on my list of 20.
Yeah.
And I want you to say maybe just one guy, or if you feel like two guys are at least maybe have a likely shot at it. Now, some of these guys on this list, I don't think some people are going to think are likely, but if we have at least heard the name, we've at least heard the name at least once or twice this year.
And because things are so fluid, no name is totally off the list unless they've told us the guy's off the list.
100%. So I'm going to throw out, we have not mentioned, we haven't necessarily mentioned Caleb Thielbar. So I'm going to put Thielbar on there because in theory, it sounded like Rollison's kind of in the mix right now for that 13th spot. But Caleb Thielbar, Aaron Savali, who, let's be honest, might be DFA'd, but still on the team in the 1.0 right conversation. Still on the team. Trent Thornton. We also mentioned Hobie Milner. I got to throw out there Shelby Miller. He's throwing. He's throwing well. Whether he can help the team this year, I don't know, but he can maybe enter the mix at some point. So I at least feel like he has to be on the list. I mean, he's way down there, but he's still on there. I had Gavin Hollowell on there, a guy who has pitched well at times, who's coming back from injury. I mean, I think multiple things would maybe have to happen, but he deserves to be on the list. I think Jackson Wiggins maybe has entered the chat as a guy who's now pitching out of the bullpen, and reports are really good. And then the last one, obviously, Justin Steele, who we keep hearing his name. I'm not optimistic, but he's on there until you said out of what you just said. Until they say he's out, he's still on the list. So what name pops out to you out of that?
Well, obviously two do. I can't count on Steele right now, but I can't count him out until the Cubs come out and say, you're done. You're absolutely done. This is not going to work this year. We're going to get you right. And could he possibly be? I don't think so. I'm just going to say I don't think so. So Wiggins is the one that intrigues me. He threw 97. Is that what they said? 97, hit 97, 98 in his last appearance. I saw somebody on the internet saying it's the best he's looked this season. It was in a relief appearance. You're probably going to see him potentially when rosters expand. Why wouldn't you try it out? Why wouldn't you bring it out? If you got somebody that could throw 97, 98, why wouldn't you give it a shot? And it also would be a guy. This is one thing I actually like. It also would be a guy that teams have not seen before. I don't want to take a young pitcher and necessarily throw him into the fire and be like, hey man, can you do it? Can you swim? But you could find that out kind of at the end of the season when you're still in hopefully a chase for a division race. And if Wiggins is able to come up and show you that maybe he's got a little something different, he's got a little extra heat that other guys don't have, Jackson Wiggins is still an interesting one. I didn't think he was going to factor into it, but he does for me. Milner definitely factors into it. I just think there's a Miller. I have no idea what to make out of that. I don't think Miller's pitching for the Cubs this year, But again, they haven't told us no, it's impossible.
It'd be crazy. It'd be crazy. That's a crazy comeback story. I mean, we would have to have like the weird tavern style debate of like Ozzie Trapillo versus Shelby Milner, who came back from an injury at an ungodly rate fastest. But you know what? He's worked his way onto this list. And for me personally, and look, I really enjoy what Trent Thornton has provided this team this year. And I think the Cubs have been very fortunate to have Trent Thornton on this team this year. I think he brings a lot of energy on the mound, but I'm going to be honest. If you're looking at that 13th spot, he may be the odd man out here because, again, if you're going to bring Peterson out of the bullpen, I just don't think you're going to use him on multiple days in a row. So I would maybe even opt for that second left-hander or third left-hander out of the bullpen. And then you're saying Rollison, Thielbar, or Rollison, Milner, or Milner, Thielbar, some sort of combination of who's going well at that particular time. So I think Thornton might be on the outs. I see people in the chat saying Hollowell's out for the year. He's on a throwing program right now. He might not help us, but he's not out for the year. Justin Steele is about to face hitters. He's not out for the year. Do I think they're going to help us? Probably not. But this is what the 1.0 list is about. You know, they're trying to come back, and a lot can happen in 6 weeks. So I mean, it's really interesting. Is there maybe we're only got a couple minutes left? Is there any world where Zephyr pitches his way out of this situation for you? As we're,
Boy, I hope not.
Right?
I sure hope not. But that's kind of what the pitch doctor, Brendan Miller, was asking us after game 1 of the series, where I was like, what's going on? Should we be worried about Zephyr? And he was like, is there a world where they can do this without Zephyr? I hope not. Wasn't he technically supposed to be the big relief arm that we were adding? I mean, he gave up something of value for him.
Yeah.
So listen, if he doesn't perform in the last month of the season, I guess that's possible, but it's also possible that guys don't come back from injuries as well as we think they. So yes, it's early to do this list, but we're just showing you how many names are out there where we're like, I don't know. It's a lot. Like 13's not that many when you really go into it. Would you be shocked if Thielbar's not on a playoff roster?
I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if at some point they have to end up DFAing him. I think that they're trying to work and manipulate their way through the next 13 days and then make some decisions when rosters expand a little bit to keep him around and keep him in the mix. And then obviously he would be a guy that you'd want to throw out there to keep everybody fresh. But yeah, I think that's what's fun about this is I think that this 13 that maybe we have right now could look completely different in 2 weeks if we do a 2.0. Can look completely different in a month if we do a 3.0. And then when push comes to shove, when the playoffs actually start, again, it might look different. Again, this list can change 3 or 4 times moving forward. And the only thing that I would say about Zephyr is I think Cubs fans got really excited about the velocity, got really excited about the swing and miss, got really excited that he got off to a bad start this year, but the prior 2 months, he had looked really, really good. And if you go to TJ Stuff and you enjoy Baseball Savant, that slider is one of the best movement sliders in the game right now. The only problem is he's either not locating it or hitters are seeing it and they're like, you know what, we're not even offering at it. Until he can make it a competitive pitch, we're not even going to try and do it. So he has to work through that. But there is a world and a scenario where if you're saying I got Daniel Palencia in the 8th inning, I got Jacob Webb in the 9th inning, and then it's a combo of my lefties and Zephyr in my 6th and 7th inning. I'm talking about playoffs right now where a starter gets you maybe 3 or 4. Your multi-inning guys get you 5 and 6, and then 6 and 7 can be a mixture of all these other guys. It is a good formula, right? He can be a part of it. But again, what I like about all this is just there's competition right now. And I just want to see that competition continue to butt heads as much as possible because that means production and that means good pitching for the Cubs.
Hey, we only got a minute left. And this is my last question of the day. We saw Bregman say that in the rain delay, he had pizza and Dr. Pepper. Your rain delay, you're a Cubs player. What are you taking down during a rain delay?
See, that's crazy to me. Like, I'm just going to tell you from a thespian actor's perspective, I like an empty stomach. I don't like eating food because if I eat food, I want to sit down. That's just where I'm at with that. So frankly, like I would probably be pumping some Gatorade Zero, maybe having like one of those granola bars or something like that. But man, eating pizza and then going out and playing. I remember like we had double headers back in high school and I had to catch the second game of a double header and I had to eat like 2 cheeseburgers and then catch a game. No thanks, Luke. No thanks, man. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, and you know my answer. Stucky runs on sugar. It's brownies, chocolate chip cookies, or potentially a do-right donut. Pretty easy. All right, thanks to everybody in the live YouTube chat. We had fun. It wasn't all serious, but thanks for checking out the CHGO Cubs podcast presented by Toyota. Corey and Brendan with Cubs related coming up on Friday. DJ ROJA coming to Spotify near you probably, along with our podcast. Thanks for watching, and don't forget, as always, fly the W.
We all silly like the mayor.